What started as a bout of flu in Wuhan became an epidemic as it raced through Hubei province of China and began spreading outwardly. It all started in December 2019, and in these 3 odd months, life in China has been severely affected. The once bustling streets of Beijing have now slowed down, but the virus has still not stopped spreading. COVID-19 is now a global pandemic. As on February 28, it has been detected in 45 countries, with more than 80,000 people to have been reported to be officially affected by the virus. China has removed a game, Plague Inc., from the local version of Apple's App Store. The game allows players to create a lethal viral epidemic that spreads across the world. The real world too has started taking extreme measures to curb the live virus from spreading. Japan has ordered the shutting of all schools. In Hokkaido, where Olympic marathons are due to take place this summer, a state of emergency has been declared. The organizers of Tokyo Olympics 2020 are debating the scaling back of the traditional Olympic torch relay. European markets are on the cusp of their worst week since the global economic slowdown of 2008. Big ticket companies, Apple and Microsoft, that drive the world's earnings have predicted that they will be earning much less than they expected. Events that the world awaits are also on the verge of cancellation. The Swiss government has banned large events of over 1,000 people with immediate effect, at least till the 15th of March, and this means that the Geneva Auto Show will have to be cancelled. Both the Olympics and the Geneva Motor Show are in question, where huge amounts of money is riding on them. But other sporting events, conferences and seminars all over the world are being rescheduled or cancelled. The president of Mongolia had been to China to show solidarity. President Batulga is now under a 2-week quarantine after having met with President Xi Jinping and gifting the Chinese leader 30,000 sheep. Saudi Arabia said it would temporarily suspend travel to the holiest sites in Islam months ahead of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. India has temporarily suspended visa on arrival for Japanese and Korean nationals. The Hong Kong government has placed a dog in quarantine, leak positive for the coronavirus. COVID-19 is bringing the world to a standstill.
Hello and welcome to this show. The world is being affected by a deadly virus, but today on the Dalal Street, it seems as if Indian markets were down with the COVID-19. Most of the stocks fell down as investors feared the impact of coronavirus. Not just India, the global economy is now fearing this deadly virus and a slowdown is being anticipated.
Friday the 28th, the last trading day of February, saw a bloodbath on the Dalal Street. The two market indices, both Sensex and Nifty, came down crashing. Sensex fell 1,448 points and Nifty saw its steepest fall in 4 years. Investors lost 5.5 lakh crore rupees in one day as the Indian stocks tracked the worst global sell-off since the 2008 economic crisis. This came as bad news for an already sluggish Indian economy that grew at 4.7% in the December quarter. With the spread of the coronavirus showing no signs of stopping, investors are worried that a long-term global economic slowdown is on the horizon.
What we saw yesterday, Dow Jones fell by more than 1,000 points, and today Japanese market and Chinese market, overall Asian and Australian markets opened much lower. This is nothing but a fear of epidemic turning into pandemic, as I told you last time. So the sooner this virus, coronavirus, is contained and we see fewer cases fewer cases, that's the only time where some kind of stability will return to the markets.
While the global market indices are also down with the coronavirus impact, the International Monetary Fund is likely to downgrade global growth.
We are likely to downgrade our growth projections for the world in the World Economic Outlook in April. I do not have another number for you today, but clearly the virus is going to have an impact on growth.
Post the outbreak of the virus, spending of the governments has increased, and experts believe that productivity growth continues to remain a challenge across the globe.
Member states are still struggling to get back on their pre-crisis public investment levels. At the same time, other types of government expenditure are now higher than before the crisis. There is therefore need to improve the quality of public finances.
The epidemic, which first emerged in China, is now turning into a pandemic, and fears of a larger than expected fallout on the global economy are increasing.
Now, as global debt toll due to coronavirus touched 2,800, India has temporarily suspended visa on arrival services for nationals of Japan and South Korea. This comes a day after India evacuated 119 Indians and 5 foreigners who were on board the coronavirus-hit cruise ship Diamond Princess, moored off the Japanese coast.
A C-17 Globemaster III transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force evacuated 76 Indian nationals and 36 foreign nationals from Wuhan on February 27th. The foreign nationals included 23 from Bangladesh, 6 from China, 2 each from Myanmar and Maldives, and 1 each from South Africa, USA and Madagascar. India also provided 15 tons of medical assistance comprising masks, gloves and other emergency medical equipment to China through the IAF flight.
This entire mission has been coordinated with the MEA, and in close coordination with the MEA, we are able to carry out this mission.
Another group of 124 were brought in from Tokyo by an Air India flight. They were on board a cruise ship off the Japanese coast. Besides 119 Indians, the people evacuated included 2 from Sri Lanka, 1 from Nepal, 1 from South Africa, and 1 person from Peru. The group was among the 3,711 people who were on board the coronavirus-infected Diamond Princess when it docked at Yokohama port near Tokyo on February 3rd. All the evacuees are now undergoing a 14-day quarantine at 2 separate facilities, one at Manesar in Haryana and another at Chawla Camp, Delhi.
Now, hopes that the coronavirus would be contained to China have vanished. The coronavirus continues to spread in the Middle East, Europe and other parts of the world, with Nigeria, Lithuania and Brazil confirming their first cases. However, parts of China have already begun to lower their emergency response levels as the number of new cases now reported there continues to slow down.
With more than a dozen countries recording their first confirmed cases over the past 48 hours, the steady march of the new coronavirus outbreak continues unabated. New Zealand confirmed its first case of the new coronavirus on Friday in someone who returned from Iran, but said the chances of a community outbreak remains low. The patient is being treated in Auckland City Hospital.
Public health officials have begun tracing the patient's other close contacts to ensure that appropriate protection measures are in place, and this includes a group of people who were on the flight involved, particularly for the final leg which came from Bali to New Zealand. The people who the Public Health Service in Auckland will be contacting will be the people who were in the same row as this individual or the 2 rows ahead and behind. Those people will be contacted by public health.
With the first case in sub-Saharan Africa being announced in Nigeria, people are concerned about the spread of the disease. Lagos is the biggest city in Africa's most populous country, with a population of about 20 million.
If a country like China cannot totally contain and control this coronavirus thing, as sophisticated as they are, I'm very scared about Nigeria. I'm very, very scared. And I just hope that the government will act very, very fast and prompt about this and make sure that the citizens are safe.
I don't think it's real. It's alien. It mustn't come here because we are praying. We have enough people, prophets in Lagos. So we are praying that it mustn't come to Lagos. If it's here, it's something that is appalling.
South Korea reported 571 new coronavirus cases on Friday, bringing the country's total number of infections to 2,337. This is the highest reported cases outside China. Officials have reported one new death from novel coronavirus in the city of Daegu, bringing the total number of coronavirus deaths in the country to 13. The victim was a 74-year-old man and a member of the same religious group at the heart of the outbreak in the country. The governor of Italy's Lombardy region has placed himself in quarantine after one of his staff tested positive for coronavirus. More than 300 people have tested positive over the past week in Lombardy alone, which is centred in Italy's financial capital, Milan. 10 people have died in the region. Across Italy, more than 650 people have contracted the disease and 17 have died, the worst contagion so far recorded in Europe. As a result, the streets of central Milan remain eerily quiet. Hours after the western German state of North Rhine-Westphalia reported 14 new cases, the total toll in the Heisenberg area has risen to at least 21. The small town of Gangelt in the western Heisenberg district, where a couple were the first confirmed cases, now resembles a ghost town with closed schools and empty streets. The US on Thursday eased sanctions on Iran to allow certain humanitarian trade transactions with Iran's central bank as the country is grappling with an increasing number of coronavirus cases. Iran's Vice President Massoumeh Ebtekar and the highest-ranking woman in the government has a confirmed coronavirus infection and is quarantined at her home. The country's Deputy Health Minister and a Member of Parliament have also tested positive for the coronavirus.
من کارهایی رو که به عهدم گذاشته شده تلفنی دنبال میکنم. امیدوارم که ظرف چند روز آینده که علائمم رفع شد دوباره برگردم و خدمتگزاری به شما عزیزان رو ادامه بدم. فعلا خدا نگهدار.
Iran has urged citizens to avoid making unnecessary trips within the country and cancelled Friday prayers in Tehran and other cities. Iran has so far reported a toll of 245 cases and 26 deaths, the most deaths outside China. In Greece, after 3 cases of coronavirus being reported in the last 24 hours, the country has decided to suspend all carnival celebrations. This while pharmacists in Athens are facing shortages in face masks and antiseptic products. Meanwhile, countries are taking all precautions to contain the virus outbreak. While Switzerland has banned large events expected to draw more than 1,000 people as a measure to help combat the spread of the new coronavirus, Saudi Arabia has suspended foreigners' entry for the Umrah pilgrimage and tourism from countries where the new coronavirus has spread. Saudi Arabia has had no cases of the coronavirus, but it has been spreading in some neighbouring countries.
We continue to bring you more details on how the world is handling coronavirus after a short break. Do stay tuned.
शादी हो रही है भाई की तो सिंगल बेड कर दिया OLX
ले लिया सिंगल बेड OLX से शादीशुदा होना कभी-कभी बाहर भी सोना पड़ता है
OLX पे तेरी भी हैप्पी मेरी भी हैप्पी OLX डाउनलोड द ऐप
Wow, you look so hot, Daddy. Alexa, give me an applause.
ऐसे कोई तारीफ करता है? Alexa, इन्हें सामने ये कौन आया सुना?
सामने ये कौन आया, दिल में हुई हलचल।
ये हिंदी भी समझती है?
देख के बस एक ही झलक हो गए हम पागल। सामने ये कौन आया।
Amazon Echo, अब Alexa से बात कीजिए हिंदी में भी।
'Cause little did we know the good times come and go, but the best is yet to come.
So you can treat the black spots, you can treat the white spots, you can treat the red lines, you can treat the red face. So all those indications you are able to treat with the same machine, and that was the Harmony XL Pro.
This laser with different tips called the clear lift, which Alma has got a lot of versatility in targeting pigment at different levels.
Tune in to our discussion on laser technology revolutionizing skin treatment in our series Enriching Lives, only on India Today Television.
माँ, मुझे नौकरी मिल गई।
बेटा।
रोटी। चल पड़ो। ये मेरा मकान है, तुम्हारे बाप का घर नहीं। मकान। अब तेरी फैमिली का क्या होगा विजय बाबू? फैमिली को संभालेगा मेरा बीमा।
हर हीरो की स्टोरी में सिर्फ रोटी कपड़ा मकान नहीं, बीमा है जरूरी।
A customer awareness initiative by Star Union Daiichi Life Insurance.
Now, the outbreak of coronavirus is edging closer to pandemic status. With Tokyo Olympics less than 5 months away, there is serious question mark over the biggest sporting spectacle. Schools are already shut in Japan and sporting events have been cancelled. The International Olympics Council now is confident that games will go ahead as per schedule.
The biggest sporting spectacle is under serious threat.
Popular da China.
Tokyo Olympics faces its biggest challenge in coronavirus.
If there's the worst possible outcome of this virus and it becomes a real pandemic where world health is at stake, then we reluctantly have to say, well, that's more important, frankly, than the Olympics.
Sports events across Japan have already been called off due to the outbreak. Japan has a total of 860 cases of the new coronavirus, the third highest behind China and South Korea.
How could we have an Olympic Games on that is safe, that doesn't put athletes at risk? I think the decision should come down to each individual athlete of whether or not they want to compete, but they should take their health into consideration first.
The much-awaited Summer Games are scheduled to start on 24th July. International Olympic Council, though, has clarified that Dick Pound's comments are not IOC's official take on the Games.
IOC からは当該委員の発言については IOC としての公式見解ではないこのこと、また予定通り大会開催に向けて IOC が準備を進めていることを説明しているものであるとの回答を得たということです。
World Health Organization is also monitoring the situation and is yet to take a final call.
Everyone is monitoring the situation. I think the Tokyo 2020 committee and the Japanese government take the issue very seriously. So do the IOC. And I think everyone is working together to try and preserve what is a fantastically important global event. And everything will be done to make that a successful and event for the world.
Rio Olympics too faced a similar situation due to Zika virus. But the situation now is more alarming as coronavirus outbreak edges closer to pandemic status. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Along with the spread of coronavirus, few conspiracy theories are also taking its flight across social media spectrums. How and from where this virus spread or originate is yet to be ascertained. Here's a report by India Today's anti-fake news war room that scanned 3 of these viral conspiracy theories to test. Take a look at their findings.
A lot of conspiracy theories are doing rounds on social media as to how this virus really emanated, where did it really emanate from. But the fact of the matter is that is still to be ascertained. What we did here was, at India Today's Anti-Fake News War Room, take a stock of all these conspiracy theories, analyze them, and analyze how much of these theories could be the real threat. The Wuhan Institute of Virology is at the center of this first theory that we're talking about. In fact, an Israeli biological warfare analyst is the one who claimed that deadly animal-borne coronavirus may have originated in a laboratory in the city of Wuhan linked to China's covert biological weapons program. That is conspiracy theory number 1. Dr. Danny Shoham, a former Israeli military intelligence officer who has studied Chinese biological warfare, has said this to the Washington Times, and I quote, "Certain laboratories in the institute have probably been engaged in terms of research and development in Chinese biological weapons, at least collaterally, yet not as a principal facility of the Chinese BW alignment," unquote. You might wonder where this conspiracy theory really originates from. The Wuhan Institute of Virology that we were speaking about has done a lot of research in the areas of Japanese encephalitis, on SARS, H5N1, influenza virus, and dengue as well. Indicating that the virus might have leaked out of the laboratory, Dr. Shoham said that though Wuhan Institute of Virology comes under the Chinese Academy of Sciences, but certain laboratories within it have linkage with the PLA or BW related elements within the Chinese defense establishment. The US State Department has alleged earlier that China maintained a small-scale offensive biological weapons program even after joining the Biological and Toxins Weapon Convention, BTWC, and that the Chinese entities have transferred controlled biological weapons related items to nations of proliferation concern such as Iran. BBC News has reported that the claim about the covert Chinese biological warfare program is baseless. It is said that former Israeli military intelligence officer, whose quotes have been used in the Washington Times article, has failed to provide any concrete evidence to substantiate it. We here at India Today reached out to the author of this particular theory, Dr. Danny Shoham, to ask him if there was any kind of substantial evidence which is backing this particular theory as published in the Washington Times. He responded on email saying, and I quote, "I was asked and talked about the possibility of accidental virus leakage and not about covert Chinese plot in biological warfare," unquote. We spoke to Rajiv Nayan, a senior research associate, IDSA, who has expertise on weapons of mass destruction, and told India Today, and I quote, "I cannot say whether the claim made on coronavirus and covert Chinese BW program is true or not, but the threat of covert biological warfare amongst the nations is real," unquote. According to him, any biological or chemical agent can be developed by any of these countries, and there are just no restrictions to it because they develop this under the guise of research and development, or R&D. In July last year, a report was published by CBC.ca that revealed that Dr. Kui, her husband Kering Cheng, and an unknown member of her student from China were removed from Canada's only level 4 lab on 5th of July. And many people on social media have come up with their own explanation for this. They tried to connect these dots and say that there were 2 Chinese spies who ended up stealing this particular virus and brought it to the Wuhan lab, and that's how this entire coronavirus outbreak really took place. It is believed to be a theory floated by a businessman, Kylie Bass. Another report published on 3rd October 2019 by CBC News revealed that they obtained travel documents of a Canadian scientist at the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg who made at least 5 trips to China, including one to train scientists and technicians at China's newly certified Level 4 lab. On January 28, 2020, NTD TV, one of the largest Chinese news networks, also reported this. According to them, coronavirus was reported to have arrived at the National Microbiology Laboratory in Canada from a Dutch laboratory on 4th May 2013. They went on to write that after investigation, the mysterious incident can be traced back to a Chinese spy working at the Canadian National Microbiology Laboratory. In their report, they mention an article by an online portal. The Week 2 reported based on the article by an online portal. You might wonder where this theory now originates from. On 27th of January as of this year, the CBC.ca ended up publishing another report to claim that the previous report is being misinterpreted. According to them, the Public Health Agency of Canada denied any connection between the removal of the scientists last summer and the existing coronavirus outbreak. But another article by PolitiFact debunked their theory. Hence, there is no proof that this particular potential spy theory which is making rounds has got any connection whatsoever to the coronavirus outbreak. Now, there's a very interesting third theory that is making rounds as well. Many on social media have come up with these bizarre claims that the patent for coronavirus was applied in the year 2015 and was granted in the year 2018 to Precautions institution in United Kingdom, whose founders happen to be Melinda and Bill Gates. This theory was originally floated by conspiracy theorist and YouTuber Jordan Sather, who tweeted this in a lengthy thread. There is no substantial proof that Precautions institution is the one that is responsible for the coronavirus outbreak. No mainstream media has even reported this particular story. Several international fact-checkers have debunked this theory. They have found that the patent application for coronavirus was made in 2015 for one type of coronavirus, but not the particular Wuhan type, which is called the Wuhan coronavirus. As per this article, the Precautions institution did not receive any funding for this particular patent work from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the institute was also not founded by them. So we here at India Today's Anti-Fake News War Room brought to you the 3 top stories that are making rounds on social media and really where they stand, where each one of them really stands as far as the coronavirus outbreak is concerned. Remember, this is one of the most talked about topics in the current sphere, given the fact that how the entire world is now slowly getting affected by the coronavirus. In fact, there are many more social media theories that are doing round, many news organizations reporting different theories as to where this virus really emanated from. But for now, we're still waiting for further information to come out from the Chinese government.
And on that note, it's a close. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.